A kidnapping and robbery case in Florida is naming Detroit Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold. Now, Arnold is not charged with a crime, but the documents reveal some serious allegations.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I did take that bottom video. We're just going to hop right into it. Today, we will be talking about Terrion Arnold. Terrion Arnold is a Detroit Lions cornerback, also played for Alabama. But Terrion Arnold, the last couple of days, has been a hot topic because Terrion Arnold has truly shown that get back is a motherfucker. I think the easiest thing is to start with, what he would be getting get back for. So, they are alleging on February 3rd that Terrion Arnold and a B&B property he might have been staying in. I like going from details. He was staying there at the time, but I don't know if he owns it or this was just a B&B that he got. But a B&B property had been robbed for, it was robbed for $100,000 in cash, an $80,000 necklace, designer bags, and a cell phone issued to Arnold by the NFL. So this happened on February 3rd in Largo, Florida. Those were the exact things that were stolen from Arnold and his friends in that situation. So what now they are alleging is, like I said, Arnold is getting his get back. What they are saying Arnold did is he called the police station at 10 p.m. on February 3rd to file a police report on the stolen money and items that I just disclosed, the $100,000 in cash, $80,000 necklace, and the phone. It didn't say 2 hours later, the alleged robbery and kidnapping of Daniel Tedesco, Solha, Anderson, and Lopez on February 4th in Tampa. Like I said, this took place in Largo, Tampa, it's nearby, so you got the point. What they alleging went down is that, like I said, the things got stolen. Lopez, that I named earlier, Jan Lopez's full name, was the private driver that he hired. And if I remember correctly, Tedesco is the barber. I don't know how Anderson got involved. I guess he was just with him. But Tedesco is the barber in the situation. So Arnold, he got robbed. He suspected, obviously, the chauffeur and the barber to be, part of the scheme, just because from the simple fact is, you feel me, who would have that location and everything to know what was in the crib, things of that sort. So definitely understand thinking and why he thought exactly those two people were involved. But from there, it says two people plus Anderson were lured to the crib because of when they at first they were saying this Ariana Del Valle girl is, or Del Valle, I would assume, is Terrion Arnold's girlfriend. His statement he put out that we'll read in a couple minutes says that it's not his girlfriend. But if all this is true and Terrion Arnold did this for the exact reason he's actually involved, then she's just a woman he knows, like, as a friend. He has to be involved with something in some kind of way. That's what I'm saying. It don't got to be romantically, but he knows this woman in some kind of way if all of this is true. She actually used another woman, Jasmine Randazzo, to lure Tedesco to the apartment, who was the barber, like I said. And this was to act as in bait because at some point he expressed romantic interest in her. So I don't know exactly. I mean, I probably can look it up, and if I do look it up and I find pictures, I'll put these pictures in the video. But if I'm just knowing who they're around and the fact that he expressed romantic interest and that April he was doing that, these probably some bad bitches. Let's be for real. These are probably some bad bitches. So my man got lured to the crib by some bad bitches. And during this whole event, they saying that, all three of them pulled up to the crib. Like I said, it's Tedesco, Anderson, and Lopez. Tedesco being the barber, Lopez being the driver, and I don't know what Anderson, I guess Anderson was just a friend. But Lopez actually stayed in the car, which if a nigga had you pull back up to the crib in this circumstance and you stayed in the car, that might be, to me, in my personal opinion, that might show that you might be guilty in a way. But like I said, they stayed in the car while the other two went up. During this, the girl Del Valle that they said, or Del Valle, that they said was Terrion Arnold's girlfriend, let them side and told them that the girl Jasmine Randazzo, that I said was the one that actually lured them, wasn't home. Then he began to look around the apartment, and this is when, allegedly, this is all ruled by the judge, by the way. This is all in the court order by J. Logan Murphy, who was the judge in this. And at gunpoint by Lindell and Christian Williamson, who they said had an AR-style rifle and a semi-automatic handgun, according to court documents. So obviously, he had an ARP probably. So obviously he had an ARP. They said they then took Tedesco and Anderson hostage in the bedroom, interrogating and beating them and pistol whipping them for a better part of an hour. Obviously, like I said, Lopez was sitting in the car. Obviously, if your homies is sitting there too long, you like, what the fuck going on? He then, gets intrigued. Not intrigued. Intrigued is the wrong word, but you get what I'm saying. He approaches the apartment, and from there, they get his ass too. They hit him in the back of the head. They get him. They interrogate him, all this. And now, during this incident, they're alleging that Del Valle, the one that they said was Terrion's awful girlfriend, used FaceTime to broadcast the incident. And they said Randizzo and Hilton joined to watch and direct actions against the victim. Randizzo is the Jasmine girl that I said actually lured to them there. And Hilton is actually one of the ones being charged in the robbery, who they are saying is a friend of Terrion Arnold. As they said, they joined to watch and direct actions against the victim. According to court documents, Hilton alleged instructed Del Valle to move the camera closer so he could see and hear what was happening and told her he was 20 minutes away. They then said one of the co-defendants, like I said, two that I already mentioned, Hudson and Williams. So what's crazy is Hilton's actually the main one getting a lot of these charges because they're saying he's the quarterback of the scheme. But the actual gunmen were Hudson and Williams, like I said. So, like they said, one of the co-defendants, Hudson and Williams, they said stuck the barrel of his firearm into Lopez's mouth, which is demanding he return the stolen property and Arnold's phone. Murphy wrote before the victims, the co-defendants took their phones and wallets. This was all done obstinately to get Lopez, Tedesco, and Anderson to admit that they stole the property from the Airbnb, which they never do. Indeed, there's no evidence that any of the victims are involved in the theft. Del Valle, Randison, Hudson, and Williams. Del Valle and Randison, I'm fucking her name up, but those are the two women. And Hudson and Williams are the one they saying actually, were involved in the incident and put the gun on them, have also been arrested and charged with armed robbery and kidnapping, and they all remain in jail as of Friday morning in Hillsborough County. And the last thing, I'm saying this for later, but given the consistent accounts from the three victims and the two text message chains introduced into evidence, the weight of the evidence against Hilton is overwhelming. Like I said, Hudson and Williams are the actual niggas who put the gun on him. Hilton was the one they said quarterback and has ties to Arnold. Because evidence shows that he knows the victim and that others who have not been arrested were likely involved in the plot. The risk of harm and intimidation to the victims and any witnesses is high, and I found that is a significant probability that they would encounter harm if Hilton is granted pre-trial release. To get back to Hilton, because I didn't say what his exact thing, but like I said, they said Hilton was a quarterback. So for Bokai, Eugene Hilton, 23, without bond. Hilton faces 3 counts of kidnapping to harm or terrorize, 3 counts of robbery with a firearm, are first-degree felonies, punishable by life in prison. He pleaded not guilty. Obviously, 3 counts for 3 individuals involved, Tedesco, Anderson, and Lopez. And they said prosecutors accused Hilton of planning the kidnapping and robbery of 3 people while with Arnold in retaliation for the thefts of Arnold's rental in Largo, Florida. I basically, at this point, have laid out all the details for the robbery and the get back. And now at this point, it's time for me to give my opinion. All of this, you can obviously, I'd read that part because that's why I read the consistent accounts part. So obviously, all of this is being told in this judge issue order by the victims. Besides the text message thread. Text message thread and the FaceTime call, that has to be some type of thing that the judge actually seen. I don't know how FaceTime calls work when it comes to police things, because I've heard that in those situations they don't have no audio, but clearly what they're saying, they had to have everything was going on. So I don't know how FaceTime calls work in this situation, so that's something I'm going to stay away from. But as far as the text message thread and all that, the fact that they're saying all this clearly, and the fact that they're able to tell you who exactly FaceTime and what they did, they're clearly able to draw this picture. So I will say that the Del Valle girl, Randizzo and Hilton, they were not good at covering their tracks, clearly, because the text messages, the fact that they keep bringing up a texter, obviously they're reading that. They subpoenaed the phone company, and obviously they're reading it. So they obviously have that on hand. The FaceTime records, obviously they have that on hand too. That's part of the subpoena of the phone company, but I don't know exactly what I had to hear and heard all that shit from the FaceTime call to say that they watch indirect actions, but I didn't know it worked like that. That's all I'm saying. But in my opinion, I would say the victims, Tedesco, Anderson, and Lopez, them niggas some hoes. Them niggas is some bitches. Let's be for real. Now, we at this time I would say we are not able to prove that they were the actual ones involved in the original robbery. That the 100,000, 80,000 necklace and the phone. But I will say, I mean, Arnold had I would say it's not a crazy inkling to think that those three individuals were involved because the driver, the barber, nigga, he was there and he probably just got a good glance at looking around and shit. He probably could tell what was in the house and what was in the B&B and things. So that's definitely not crazy to think that those individuals were involved. So I understand that. As far as if these individuals, like I said, we can't prove it at this moment in time. It don't look like the police are even caring to really look into the original robbery. They actually, it looks like they just care more to look into what happened with Terrion Arnold and the retaliation, which makes fucking sense. That's just like the police. The police just ignorant as hell. Like I said, if these things they're accusing them of are actually true and they actually did these things, then I believe they should be punished as well. But the fact that if they actually did these things and they told first, they're going to be I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like they're going to be not pardoned, but they're going to be looked at better in a better light by the court system and the judge, because you can't prove what they did, but you got all these documents to prove that they got hit and they told on people as well. So to me, in my personal opinion, this some whole shit. Like I'm saying, it's hard to prove. Like I'm saying, I mean, it might have been more evidence for Arnold and his homeboys to prove that, okay, yeah, these niggas did it. But looking at our framing, and if these niggas actually did it, and then these niggas get back, and then y'all some hoes. Let's be honest, y'all some hoes. You cannot be trying to rob niggas, finessing niggas in this and then nigga come in and get that back on you, and then you go tell the police. You a hoe. You was a hoe. On my mama. Because he can't really like yeah, it was homeboy, but he can't really like blick your ass. He can't really kill you because the nigga got too much money invested. Like he got too much money. He can't really blick. He got too much money a face. He just can't just kill your ass. I mean, shit. Some niggas might pull a Marvin Harrison. But in reality, bro, he really can't just do that to you. So, the fact that you are using that to get some after you robbed him for, like, damn near $200,000 worth of things, use a hoe on my mama. And I ain't gonna lie. I mean, obviously, the judge has a job to do. Obviously, this is part of his job, If these niggas actually did it, and they didn't call... Well, they did file a police report, but they wasn't able to, like, find evidence that they actually did it, and they ever find, like, obviously, yeah, he has a job to do, but in the reality thing, the judge a hoe for this too, because it's like, bruh, if these niggas robbed me for $200,000 worth of things, and I just got my get back, bruh, don't get involved. Like, don't get involved. But like I said, he got a job to do, he got just uphold things of that sort. But in my personal opinion, don't get involved, bro. 20,000, and these niggas hold me like that. And my next thing is, with that being a NFL issue phone, like they're saying, they ain't got no trackers or nothing like that on there. Like it's kind of fun to me that they ain't got no type of thing on there where you could just pull up and find it or some shit like that. But it is what it is. I was about to say it is what it is. But like I said, bro, if it's hard to prove, we can't prove it at this moment in time. But if these niggas are actually the ones who involved with the robbery, which I can definitely see why Terrion Arnold thought this for sure, they some hoes. Y'all do this, I get my get back. I ain't even really hurt y'all niggas for real, and y'all call the police. Y'all some hoes. And then the judge in here, the judge order is really pissing me off because, like, yeah, he mentions the police report, but he really don't mention, like how these niggas, like, I mean, like I said, we can't prove that at this moment in time, I guess, just from evidence and things of that sort, but if these niggas are actually involved in that and got the evidence, he just ain't talking about it much, and I think that's some whole shit, because, like, no way you think this nigga got me back for $200,000, I'm gonna file a police report, not get none of my shit back, because let's think about that. Let's think about the actions from the police report. Terrion Arnold files a police report, he probably is not going to get none of his things back. The police is probably going to be like, oh, we can't prove it, we can't find the stuff, so, and he going to be SOL. So, I don't know, I'm not going to say I'm in between. I'm definitely leaning towards Terrion Arnold, but I can see the other side. But, yeah, it's crazy enough. So, I ain't really got much more to say to that. So, like, share, subscribe, comment. I just checked out my video, and we up.